I heard recently that California was going back to stage one again with everything that was going on in the world.
Mhm.
And it makes me think, is this going to happen everywhere? Is every place going to shut down? Are we going to start seeing people kind of really that can't do it again? Because I feel like, I've talked to some people that are like at my work and everything, and they're like, I just can't. Like, I'm still trying to come back from it. And I feel like we just threw ourselves in a complete economic hole. And it seems like we might not even ever recover from that for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah. The guy who put the modeling together for um, there's the Imperial College, Neil Ferguson. He said we're gonna pay, and this is like right when he put it freaking out there before really everything got shut down, things started getting shut down. He sort of caustically said we're gonna pay for this for decades, and it's absolutely true that we are going to pay dearly for this in more ways than just financially. They predicted. I wrote an article early into um, the shutdown when pretty much 42 out of the 50 states just did more or less just locking things down. There were 8 states that did not, and interestingly enough, they were all Republican governors. And so I'm going to get to your California question here in a second. But the health professionals, when it comes to psychiatrists and psychologists, they were saying the the repercussions from this is not just going to be financial, but some of it is going to stem from financial, because when unemployment rises, and this is, you can just track this over time from any financial crisis that hits from 2008 to the one in the 80s to the Great Depression, suicide and suicide attempts and mental health, all that skyrockets. And it just is one of those things that is just going to happen with this. And I was talking to some friends a couple of days ago, and I was referencing what Jesus was saying. He's like, no man builds a house without first counting the cost. And all of this globally. And a lot of people will say, well, it's not just America. Everybody was doing. Well, everybody made a mistake, except maybe for Sweden with their herd immunity. There were a number of countries that, may have not been so restricted, but the cost counting was not put into place. And California, no, I don't think people are going to follow that trend. And I think you are seeing, interestingly enough, you are seeing other states that have decided not to be so restrictive actually benefiting from the tyranny of California and New York. As you can look at all of the wealthy people who are in California and in New York, exodus, mass exodus. They're leaving, they're getting out of there. And so this whole absolute lockdown, again, with California, is is really just a reflection of the type of politics that they play in that state. And for some reason, the further you go left, it seems the less you understand about economics and how it works. And when you restrict more, the entrepreneurs leave and they go somewhere else. And that's what's so great about having a country where you have 50 states, but not just that, you have numerous cities, and they all sort of do a little bit of their own thing when it comes from an economic perspective, which is why you see a lot of these billionaires leaving to go to one of typically two places, Texas or Florida. There's no state income tax. And business regulations are very much more loose than in places like California and New York.